is on the brink of upheaval. For centuries, the clan struggled against giants until 400 years ago, when dragons crossed the Great Sea, forcing them to unite and build the 10 Bastions. As the threat faded, the clans fractured into the 10 kingdoms, and all but the last Bastion were abandoned. As ancient calamities stir and darkness rises in the east, my 4 champions must rise up to unite the kingdoms, restore the Bastions, uncover their secrets, and stand against this darkness as a declaration of war.
Calagon Dör. I will discover the secrets of my lineage and cement my legacy as one of the greatest adventurers of all time.
Cleave still in here. The migration of the dragons forced the migration of peoples and beasts, which brings death. We're all invasive species now. I won't let us become extinct ones.
The name's Rodrick Elwood, the voice of this generation, and the greatest performer in Aurora. Oh, and you should see me with a bow.
And I, Arlyn Dursalai, searching for my father's sword, Trident, to bring justice to these lands. Together, we are the 4 Horsemen.
And this is Divine Inspiration.
Welcome back. It is such a joy to be back here after a week off where, admittedly, I was, in fact, one of the few people that wasn't feeling too hot last week. So, with that being said, it is just such a joy to be back at this table with all you guys, and luckily, everybody else is feeling great too.
Whoa, speak for yourself.
Okay, everybody is feeling moderate for the most part.
Allergies.
But I definitely speak for at least myself when I say I'm excited to get into today's session.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, gather around, get cozy, and enjoy as we get to tell the very tale of the 4 Horsemen as they encounter the very first Bastion on their path to uniting the kingdoms. And so, last we had left off, the 4 Horsemen left the peaceful realms of man and ventured out into the wilds far, far beyond the desert sands that they've grown to hate so very much. They ignored a few different potential setbacks as they saw people, goblins, unusual creatures throughout the deserts, but beelining it towards the ocean, towards the sea, with their new ally, New Jeff Jr. in tow. They knew that they had to get this aboleth to the water before he dried out. A fate that is considered even worse than death for aboleths. And so, having now allied with him, they were able to touch this new ally and with his power begin breathing water as well as air at certain points, where they were able to leave behind their mounts, including a new direwolf mount, an ally, and instead they took to the waters where they fought different types of creatures, including a plesiosaurus, a dinosaur that got curb stomped by a half dragon and a full baby dragon. Beyond that, they followed through a series of caverns, avoiding what seemed to be humanoid figures underwater, living in a city far, far below the deepest reaches that man would ever otherwise encounter. And eventually, they followed their way through another split in this rocky canyon outcropping, if you will, to which the aboleth, New Jeff Jr., told them that his job, or its job, was done, as they realize now where they have finally made it to. Parting ways, the aboleth left them with some of its mucus, for lack of a better word, which allows them to breathe underwater just one other time each if they were to so choose to use it. And Rodrick decided that he would be the one to brave this new world first, as is often the case, leaving his companions behind in the waters, he left them with one final sentiment, and it's that if things go south, while this telepathic link is still up between them using the Aboleth's psionic abilities, if things were to go south, they would hear one very specific word come to mind. And so, having now seen the guards posted up at the entryway here, just blurred by your vision coming up from underwater, and realizing very quickly that once you exit, you cannot breathe water again, Rodrick, you step out onto this narrow stone causeway, if you will, jutting out from cliffs onto the surf where you guys have just surfaced in part. This landing path carved out by both nature and man with different kind of stone tiling following all the way through this outstretched like outcropping, if you will. And you can see now that within this region there are different scars, both from erosion and from combat throughout time. As you now reach forward, you can see the reddish rock all around you, towering high above you into the sky, surrounding the mouth of this ancient blackened doorway, so large that even a dragon could walk through it without any trouble. And following over towards that, you see these massive columns stretching out, only accented on occasion by palm trees, and specifically by these two orcish guards, the one of which you were briefly able to hold conversation with. While he was distracted, however, Rodrick appears behind this orc, knife in hand held to his throat, as the rest of the four horsemen hear now that word of action. And so, with that, as this salt water sprays against the weathered edges of this platform, you can now hear, as the waves crashing start to silence in relation to the movement that comes from behind, you hearing now as your allies moving from behind you, having themselves just heard the singular word, fish. And so with that, I would like for each and every one of you guys to go ahead and roll initiative.
Here we go, boys.
No.
Let's take this bastion down. 16.
15.
12. Okay.
Starting with initiative. Oh, never fails.
Uh-oh. Alright, sorry.
3.
Were any of you guys above 20 there?
No.
Okay, and 15, 18?
16, 15.
16, 15? Okay.
I'm last, as always.
What'd you get?
This heavy armor, man.
Yeah.
It's really
Alright,
heavy.
10 to 15?
I feel like I'm usually last. I don't know.
Either of you guys?
I give you up your money.
Either of you guys have anything in 10?
I'm
10
actually
15?
12 though this time.
12? Okay.
I'm actually a 3.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's common, actually. Throwing away this die. Literally, permanently.
We should all take a die and shift
Fantastic.
over
So,
to the person next to us.
as
take
now,
No, let's go this way.
Rodrick, looking back, you can see now the movement start to part only as much as is natural from the movement of you kind of sprinting out of it just moments prior, but you can start to see the shifting forms, and the one that you can see most readily taking to action, you can see now these eyes just cutting through the waters, these eyes that clearly feel the pain of what it is like to be on the outside of a bastion, specifically dragon eyes. Calagon, you're up first.
All right. I'm gonna. I don't have my icon on here, but
Can I metagame for a second?
Yeah.
Are we gonna resort to violence? Because I wasn't trying to resort to violence.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Like right off the bat.
We don't know that. You literally said fish.
When a guy says fish, man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So, how does the orc look in this moment? Terrified, or does he look angry?
I will allow just a free insight check.
Okay.
Wait, is this how far apart the two orcs are on the map?
Yes.
Oh, look at this roll.
Yeah, that is accurate.
20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20, my goodness. There is an aspect of this orc's current expression that you can tell is surprised and yet overwhelmed with excitement.
Oh boy.
They probably had no excitement for
Which
the
orc?
last
Excitement.
100 years.
The one with the knife to his throat.
Very good.
The one with the knife to his throat is excited.
Excited.
Seems to be.
Hey.
What do I do with that?
Maybe excited to fight for first time in a really long time.
Which one of them had the horn?
The one that you have in your hands currently.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they both have horns?
Not that you can see, no.
Well, I'm going to run up to Rodrick as fast as I possibly can, and
Good memory.
I'm gonna look at Rodrick. You sure? And I'm gonna try to grab the horn off of the orc's body.
Okay. That's going
Good
to be a
move.
contested strength check.
Let's go. I'm strong.
I am technically grappling the orc.
I'm strong. It's
FYI.
okay.
Fair. But
so
for the
strong.
time being,
I'm
leave
actually
it
not strong,
leave it
but
focus.
17 I hope works.
17. Okay. You can see now at his side as his hand is actually currently reaching for it. As you now just jump out of the water and place a hand around it, you can see now the surprise as he looks down for this brief moment and almost instinctively goes to elbow you. And yet, in that split second indecision, seems to let up from the horn right as you reach for it, giving you perfect opportunity to snatch it from him.
I'm gonna grab it and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, Rodrick. Hold on. We're not here to fight. I think this is a misunderstanding. What just happened?
There's a knife. There's no misunderstanding.
Rodrick, why'd you put a knife out?
Well, because he told me I had to leave.
Well, I'm sure we could talk about this. Can you put the knife down, please?
Okay, next up is Rodrick.
I forgot he was disguised as an orc.
I'm gonna yell at the other orc. And we'll say, "You there!
Yes.
Come closer!"
Very easily done. As he starts walking towards you, you can see that he pulls a vial from his side and just casually just uncorks it. As he starts swishing it around in
Drop
his
the
hand.
vial!
I'm not sure I can do that.
Drop it! Or I drop his body!
You clearly don't know our mission then. As he continues walking closer and closer towards you.
Oh. I don't like this. Is there... I'm gonna look at my orc. Is there a similar vial on him?
Largely, yes.
I'm gonna grab it. So I'm going to use my action to actually I guess, loosen my grip on him with this hand and then go for the vial.
Okay.
Now that I see that, clearly there's some strength to this thing. This guy's being all shady, walking up to me, drinking a drink.
Make a perception check for me.
18?
18. 18 is definitely good enough to notice they're not identical.
That's fine.
Very good. Then as this orc approaches, you can see as he presses the vial to his lips, he kind of pauses for a moment. He says, "You've chosen violence in a time of peace. In a time where we have been tasked with defending the one place that may have to deal with people like you. Each of us two we're a little different. I come from the newer breed. I don't like to lash out. But at times, even I must. You watch as he downs this, like, light red fluid. And you can see now as his demeanor starts to change. As now slowly gripping his fingers around the vial, you can see he just crushes it in his hand.
Then if you choose violence, so will I. And I'm going to use my bonus action to drink the vial.
Very good.
I'm gonna go, Rodrick!
Wait, what's your vial?
I have no
We
idea.
have no idea.
Oh wait, are you drinking the
You
guy,
can
the
now-
orcs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other one.
Once
Same
again,
vial.
breathe underwater for up to 1 hour.
Lovely. That's what the vial is?
Water potion.
Okay.
So if you recall, that orc did mention that you should take your potions and leave here again, as that is clearly now, as you can tell, how they also get here.
Okay. Cool.
Unfortunately, that other orc is going to continue your way. Is there anything else that you'd like to do in the remainder of your turn?
So what's funny is he's not underwater. Does he know he can breathe underwater again, or is it just like nothing happens? He doesn't
He's
really know.
aware.
Okay.
But this isn't like the Aboleth's curse. You can breathe both air and water currently.
Okay.
So
Because that would have been really inconvenient.
that would have been horrible at this time.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty funny.
Drag the orc into the water.
Actually, so I kept my knife still to his throat, and I used one hand to what's it called? Take the vial. Can I still I still have movement.
You have movement,
Can I
yeah,
move
for
with
sure.
him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to move.
It's going to be at half speed.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm pretty close to the water.
Okay.
I am actually going to start dragging him into the water.
Fantastic. All right. For the sake of this, I will still ask for a strength check at advantage, given
Okay.
the current circumstances.
$18,
18. Okay.
and I have a -1.
It's not looking good for a moment.
So I rolled a 19.
But luckily, pulling him back with the knife, he kind of lets up for a brief moment, and it's just enough to overpower him as you can feel his legs start to trip up, and he starts getting dragged back with you.
All right.
Are you trying to take him all the way into the water?
Yep.
Okay. I guess, yeah, go ahead and move your character freely.
I want
And-
the advantage here. So. I'm going fully into the water.
So it'd be about there.
Great, now I'm alone.
Okay. It's a pretty sharp drop off from here, but you are at the one point that does seem almost like an intentional sloped, almost stairwell, had it not been eroded over time. So
Okay.
you can see the slight lips of what were steps at one point, but it's not quite an actual stairwell anymore.
Okay.
He's struggling to keep his head above water currently. So you're kind of like just getting into it, and he's just like doing his best in this time. But with that, it is going to be the NPC's turn.
Which one, mine or the other?
It is. Sorry, what?
Both.
My
Which
NPC
one?
or the other one?
Do you have an NPC?
No, the one
like
with
The one I'm
David is
holding.
the one on land.
The one with the knife to his throat.
They are both going to take their turn at the same time.
Okay.
So, with that, yes. As its bonus action, the orc who had previously just downed this potion, you can see now just drops his body weight, and you can see now where his shoulders start to like droop, and almost dragging his arms along the floor. You can see where he starts to just dip his head and charge forward as though not bearing any mind as to whether or not he's about to fall flat on his face, and instead using all of his momentum to just charge forward as fast as he possibly could.
Okay.
And doing so, he's just going to attack the first person he sees, which in this instance is, of course, the great Calagon Dör.
Oh yeah. I'm ready.
With that being said, he is going to make a reckless attack to gain advantage.
Okay, so he's a
Well,
barbarian.
it's a barbarian.
Sweet.
And he's enraged.
And with that, does a total of 10 hit?
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
he's a weak barbarian.
No, it does not.
Fantastic.
Thank the
Um,
Lord.
Yes.
Maybe he should have drooped his
There's
arms
this
a little
brief
less.
moment where you can see that he still has a portion of this vial in his hands, now broken. You can see where the damage is clearly done to his own hand, but he comes in ready to swing the neck, jagged and fragmenting, over his kind of shoulder as he kind of drags it back over towards you. But in his sloppy, kind of animalistic way, you can easily read his motion and dodge right out of the way. Whereas the other one is, of course, going to similarly make an attack. And with his crazy eyes, it's not going to be nearly as hard for him to tap into. That's going to be a 16 to hit on Mr. Rodrick Elwood.
Okay, well that does hit.
Okay.
Ouch.
Now, how does grappling work? Technically,
Yeah, he's dragged in the water and
does he get disadvantage
knife to his
on
throat.
any kind of attack?
So, okay. So there are the two different aspects. There's grappled and there's restrained. So grappled reads as following. A grappled creature's speed becomes 0, and it can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. The creature ends the grappled condition if the grappler is incapacitated.
Okay.
And the condition also ends if an effect removes the grappled creature from the reach of the grappler.
Okay.
So currently, the only thing affected is his speed, which is why you're able to drag him.
Okay.
Once he's fully restrained, it would take an additional action, but then he would gain like additional negatives. You would gain additional bonuses.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So with that, he is going to pull an arm back and grab at your hair from over top, and with the other hand,
Not
he's
the
going
hair.
to grab at the knife. And you can feel now where he starts to pull the blade closer and closer, as though almost like further around his own throat. But while pulling your hair closer and closer towards the other side.
Wow.
I would like for you to make a contested strength check against this orc to determine whether or not it stabs you with your own blade.
0.
Whoa. Oh, great.
It was,
Fantastic.
It was all leading up to this moment.
Yeah, right.
You did too good for too long. And now, as you can feel your hair start to get pulled, there's this almost intrinsic thought that's just like, okay, my hair or my life itself? And you almost instinctively go to defend your hair in that brief moment as you start to let
Sakura's
up,
whack. Good job.
and you feel now just piercing at like the base of your neck almost, where you can feel it start to get warm, and you realize your own blade has now dug its way partially into your skin, and he is
Yikes.
going to deal a grand total of 7 piercing damage to you.
7.
Wow, that's
does
a
he,
painful one.
Does he notice that I'm actually disguised?
Not necessarily in this moment, no.
Yeah, the changes wrought by this spell fail to hold up to physical inspection.
Okay.
So,
You did still say you had like similar hair, so honestly, I don't imagine it would make any major difference for the time being. He's not really
He's not even looking at
felt
you.
your form other
Yeah.
than your hair, which he just
True.
grabbed from behind. So there's no reason at this moment to think that he would see or at least even care.
oh, he hurt me really bad.
That makes sense.
With your own blade.
We haven't even gone in yet,
I
guys.
know. These
guys
are
are
the
set.
guards. Imagine
Alright.
what they're guarding.
Luckily with that, these two orcs start to slowly pull in at you guys. But luckily, you guys aren't without an orc of your own. Cleave, you're up.
Yay.
He says, luckily. Wait till you see my turn.
Oh no!
So,
Oh no.
I'm going to use my movement to go all the way over to the side here and lean up against this rock. Then I'm going to pull out a torch and peel off one of the little charcoals from it. And I'm pulling my shield like this. And I'm going to cast Shape Water to dry off the charcoal. And I'm going to start taking notes on the back of my shield. Like, And watching. That's my turn.
What? Huh?
I'm gonna like go way over there and lean up against the rock and just like. If you can hear the sound effect, let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
There's some long game to this.
It's been a while since
I
he's
hope so.
seen any orcs. Cleave seems
vibe- yeah,
thoroughly
here we go.
entranced.
This is the vibe right here.
There's definitely some long game to this strategy.
That's hilarious.
good.
We'll
There's
figure
gotta
out.
be. At least we can hope.
We'll figure out after I get revived.
And with that, the appointed
fails.
leader of the four seems to take note as this is all happening, taking it all in. It's now your turn.
Okay, so all I see is chaos. One of my men is getting bled. I can't see anything above the water right now. So I can't see that foolishness. But what I do see is blood coming from Rodrick and this orc.
For sure.
So I believe Arlyn's instinct would be to protect his own.
Cool.
So he's going to lunge forward and he's going to pierce into the orc.
Okay.
With
Go
a
ahead and roll
sword.
to hit.
Oh, nat 20.
Yo.
Nice.
I would say that hits.
He
yes.
took your nat
Uh-huh.
20, David. How you feeling?
Come on now.
Let's see what you
It's
can
like
do with
maybe
that
when they
nat
get
20,
their nose
man.
taken.
All right.
Now's the time.
So,
Make it count.
remind me nat 20 rules that we have.
Essentially everything from this point on, just roll as you normally would, just double the dice
Double the
itself,
dice.
and then add whatever modifiers.
I would say I'm two-handed right now.
Yeah, that's certainly
I'm
fair.
pretty sure I have my shield on my back. I wouldn't be swimming with my shield in my
Cool.
hand.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So, two-handed.
No gripes here.
That'd be a D10. That was the first time I go
Very
two-handed.
good. Let's hope that D10 rolls high.
Uh-huh. 1, 2 of them.
Fair.
Really? It was cocked. And then I
then he
moved
moved it and it-
I am
itself.
an avid hater of all things cocked, and I will say re-roll that one alone, keep the other one. Make sure you know
Keep the
darn
other
well
one?
what it is,
Alright, the
though.
other one's not great
Yeah.
either, but... Okay. 12 damage.
12 points of damage? Okay.
And... That's
Picture
it.
you
I'm not
making,
going
like,
to add anything
caricatures
to it. I
of the
don't
orcs.
want to waste everything. We're not even inside.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. 12 damage.
Not dissimilar to what you've just seen. You now watch as coming up from behind you, this sword just appears, and rather than at the neck, it kind of shoots up from underneath and pierces the flesh just under the arm and shoots up behind this orc, where you now just dodged very, very closely this blade of Arlyn coming up from behind you. And you can see now as these two now both break their grasp on one another, and
Okay.
this orc slowly turns, kind of peeling himself off of the end of your blade, and just
Come at me. From
Calagon.
underwater.
It's your new catchphrase.
My new catchphrase.
Come at
Calagon,
me.
you are
Come
back
at me.
up, starting us back at the top of initiative.
Okay. I'm going to try to football tackle this orc to the ground.
Do it.
Very good. The one
that
ahead of you,
attacked
I take
me,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna-
Yeah, that's a strength check for sure. I will say that will be athletics.
Athletics, heard. That one. Does 0 hit.
A 0 unfortunately does not hit as this monkish-looking orc just
I got
kind
my
of
sea legs.
pulls to the side and almost grabs you around the waist for a second and just kind of slightly pulling on you as you drop down. You do both end up on the ground for that brief moment, but definitely not in like the grapple that you had hoped.
Okay. As I'm on the ground, the only thing I want to secure is that horn that I got to make sure that they don't take that and blow it. But I guess that's going to end my turn.
Fantastic. Okay. Cool. I respect that. And with that, Rodrick, back up to you.
Okay. So I'm going to look at the other orc, the one that's on land. How far is he away from me?
He's
he
next
is
to me. This is
currently 25 feet from you, roughly.
25 feet. Okay.
Can you refresh that, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So on him.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I see him here. Okay, so to that orc, I am going to cast Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
Haha.
And what is
13.
the save?
13.
13?
Yeah.
And what kind of save is it?
Wisdom.
Okay. You see this gnarly looking orc just coming up from the floor. He kind of starts to get back up for this brief moment, and you see he just smiles back at you instead.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that was funny. I'm gonna actually use all of my half movement speed to grab my guy and drag him into the water.
Fantastic. Alrighty.
So 15 feet into the actual water.
Very good. Very, very good. Do bear in mind that once underwater, pretty much anything that doesn't have a piercing damage type is going to be at disadvantage when you make your attacks. But
Thank
otherwise,
God
yeah,
I pierced.
that's certainly a reasonable choice there. And I'll drag you guys back a little bit here, closer towards where Arlyn was. Alrighty. Then with that, as he is now starting to take his final breaths above the water, you can see that he just and starts to bubble up his cheeks and slowly turning and trying to get back towards you again as you grab his way. He's just going to stare you as directly as possible and go for a throat punch. It just seems to make the most sense for him in this moment.
Throat punch.
He's clearly not very happy in this moment. Does an 18 hit?
Yeah.
Very good. And that is a grand total. Golly, damage. That's how much damage. 6 points of bludgeoning damage
Sick.
with just a punch to the throat. As
Guys, we
despite
haven't
being
gone
able to breathe
inside.
underwater in this moment, there is still this loss of breath from inside you as you just and immediately start taking everything in, and there's this slight moment of panic as you now understand that you're breathing water, but still it doesn't seem to be working for even you.
Super sick.
And we're gonna follow that up with the other one who is on the ground watching as his ally gets dragged, and yet not caring enough to go after him. Calagon, I would like for you to make a either athletics or acrobatics check.
I'm gonna go
Opposing
acrobatics there
This orc.
because I am a limber dragon. 4.
Sorry, man. But land your dice.
This is
Come on,
unfortunate,
help.
man.
He rolled a 2 on the
As,
dice after a 1 last time.
The orc, seeing
Working his way
the
up.
violence of what is occurring at the hands of Rodrick Elwood, decides to do similar. grabbing Calagon by
Check that.
like the nape of the neck and by the back of one of his calves. You can feel that the sands now start to peel out from below you as you get dragged down these stairs, and you can feel nowhere near as harsh as it would have been had there not been water there, but the steps as it hits the side of your head and arms as you get dragged now into the water by this orc, very, very similar to what the other has just done. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw at,
Gotcha.
You know what, I'll keep it plain.
You're so nice. Constitution 18.
18, very good, okay. Then without fail, we are going to move on as you now see your best friend get dragged from the earth back into the water. Your notes, clearly worthy of some great content here. But what would you like to do in this time?
I'm gonna
Please.
go.
Right, I've seen enough. This concludes your in-service training.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Everybody gather around.
Tristan's like, I don't know what to do with the that.
only problem, Cleave, is I'm 15 feet
I was gonna say
underwater.
they're both underwater currently.
They're both underwater?
Yeah,
And they can't hear
because the
that?
one orc just dragged Calagon and
Are we still
Rodrick
connected
dragged
by our
the
brains?
previous.
Oh my gosh.
You can give it a shot.
Same sentiment, but directed to you guys to translate it. Tell him I said in-service training is all done. Everybody report to the beach.
My head's just.
As this happens, you only hear in your own mind, "Goodbye."
Oh no. All right.
What?
What?
Goodbye, what?
That would be New Jeff Jr. piecing out and not letting us talk anymore.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna walk like 2 paces over and dip my head underwater and see if I can still make that that known with simpler words. Just like yeah, as best as I can to try to communicate the words. Test over. Come up.
Make a deception check
At super
at
disadvantage.
disadvantage
Yeah, this is crazy now.
with a DC of 20.
No. That's impossible. That's only...
It's darn near close to it. Yeah, it's pretty much.
All right, I'll have to try again.
What's your
Pretty much
modifier
last
for
time.
deception?
+1.
These
So you-
are
19
two
or 20, that's it.
raging orcs
At-
mid-combat.
How'd you get a 20?
Underwater.
and a
So you know with your
19 or
first one, if you don't roll a 19 or 20.
Yeah, that's it.
Come on.
3, so no.
Oh, man.
7, that was the other one.
Given the circumstances where they currently are, you immediately notice as you say this, like, oh yeah, they're not responding. That ain't happening.
What was my actual action? Did I do an action for this one?
Not necessarily. No.
Alright.
Free action
Maybe
of
I'll hold
tapping
off
on
for
your
the
shield.
next one.
Okay.
Yeah, I already failed. I don't want to adjust anything.
Fair enough. And following Cleave is back over to Arlyn.
You're not gonna attack or anything?
I did what I tried to do. I
It
don't.
was
I
a
have to
worthy
accept
attempt.
the fail. Yeah.
It was a very worthy attempt. I respect that.
All right.
So funny.
I.
It was
I didn't know they all got
to
that far
see-
underwater. I thought they were just that far
It was
out.
very Cleave.
My goodness. Hold
But
on.
man, yeah, that is tough.
You're just in there.
Describe what I see around me.
You are still underwater, just barely. So currently what you can see most clearly is Cleave pop his head underwater for a brief moment, shout something indiscernible, and then the orc is now dragging Calagon along the floor of the sea down these stairs while Rodrick
And
is
he
pulling the
can't
other
breathe.
orc back and just throat punched him.
He can't breathe underwater anymore.
Correct. He cannot currently breathe underwater.
He can, but his throat punched.
Exactly
With
right.
1 health.
Not looking too hot either.
Yikes,
Happens.
y'all.
It happens.
I am going to... My goodness. I was already fighting the one with Rodrick. So, seeing him struggling...
I think that you can flank.
I'm flanking.
Good touch.
Yeah.
A wise decision.
I'm flanking, and I'm gonna go for that orc.
Cool. Yeah, and he's already taken some damage, so there is just this light red trail still coming from him as you now come up from behind. Go ahead. At advantage. Oh wait, no, that's a slashing weapon, not piercing. It is just even, forgive me. So,
I can't pierce with it?
what was that?
Technically, it's a martial weapon.
It does
Versatile.
slashing damage, unfortunately.
Only slashing damage?
Given the fact that it's specific to underwater combat, I will say it would just still retain what it would normally
I'm
be.
using my javelin. On the way down. I go, whoom, and I take
wow,
out this
that's
giant
fine.
javelin. That extends.
Yes. Sounds fancy.
And
Bow fishing.
my advantage would be 22.
Then yeah, I mean, you know that's gonna hit.
Yeah. So, I will... Four damage.
Very good.
Except,
good.
I'm going to Thunder Smite as a bonus action. Underwater.
Okay.
How does that work?
So that one, can you give me the read for it?
Your strike rings with thunder. That is audible within 300 feet of you. And the target, but I'm underwater. That's a different rule now, right?
Okay.
It is thunder. Not, well,
It is thunder.
It's sound.
It
okay,
is
yeah, it's sound. Yeah, not lightning. Thunder.
It's sound.
Okay.
Technically,
Okay.
an explosion underwater is not the same.
We'll see.
Largely agreed, but
You know?
there are, you know.
Regular
Yeah, but
smite.
at point blank range, it's the same.
Regular smite.
Yeah.
Regular smite. Regular smite.
Like, if I had a gun underwater and I shot you at point blank, you're getting shot. It's going through you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my
It'll,
thing.
it'll
my
stop
thing
with the
is-
water on the other side of
My
you.
thing is alerting 300 feet from us.
Yeah, you
Learning
guys-
everything
sounds
300
muffled
Sound
sound.
underwater are different.
It'll muffle
I
it for
see.
sure.
Yeah, sound
No,
is very
I'm just gonna
different.
regular smite. I'll regular smite.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Which would be an extra 2d8
Got smite. I forgot.
radiant damage.
Golly, yeah. Go ahead.
So how much damage is that again? It was
Four so far.
4 so far, yeah.
4 so far.
Plus 2d8.
Plus
Could be
2d8.
good.
Yeah, let's kill him. I mean,
6.
I
6
think
total
I'm
points
good.
of damage.
So 6 plus 4.
That's 10.
So 10.
Okay.
How's he looking?
He's looking rough, for sure.
Really?
As he takes that, he starts to kind of cut away, and between holding his breath and already trying to dodge one person in combat underwater, it's very difficult to try to manage this. And so it's very clear that as he turns around, bracing for impact just slightly, it's not
Understood.
nearly
Makes
good
sense.
enough as you start to just cut away at his arm that he kind of lifts last moment. And you see now where it immediately just and like cauterizes the wound instantly.
Okay.
Just cutting away at him, but you can tell that his arm starts to go limp underwater. This very same arm that he just used to throat punch your friend, Rodrick Elwood.
Divine smite.
And
Remember.
Calagon, what you got?
Oh, well, glad you asked, as I'm getting dragged into this water. I am going to attempt to do a good old death roll to get free. Done it before, familiar with it, so I'm going to just...
Yikes.
Oh, okay, not like a death saving throw.
No, he
Oh, like a death roll, like an alligator.
Alligator, yeah.
You are freaking us out here.
He's like, oh man, Roderick's never gonna let me live this down.
Fantastic. Living up to exactly what Cleave
So
thought
yeah,
he saw in the swamp.
as soon as I get enough into the water, I'm like, I'm just gonna start trying to get free.
Okay. Acrobatics. That's gonna be acrobatics for
cool.
sure.
Come on, let's go. Oh my gosh, come on.
It's rough.
6, dude. 6. It's my signature move.
You do start to spin, but it's not very long before the orc just grabs you between like the legs at the knee, and he just starts to like pull down on you, and you can feel now where his weight starts to drop slowly, just kind of lowering you back down into the water, and just kind of like closer and closer towards the floor. You can feel now that it's getting to a point of like being pinned almost underwater. Is there anything else that you'd like to do?
Oh man. I'm just gonna yell because I'm gonna see Cleave as I'm going under, and I'm just gonna yell, Cleave, Cleave, come on, do something, and that's gonna end my turn. Golly.
Fantastic.
Just watching this.
And finally, before the NPCs,
I still have it in my
we
hand
have
for sure,
Rodrick
like, face
Elwood.
backward.
Okay,
Well,
so I'm gonna put my left hand on my neck, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Fantastic. It's a very smart move right now.
For a total of
2.
17 health, bringing me back to full health.
Wow.
Dang.
This guy's dice, man. What?
Yeah,
I
so-
rolled, I rolled 2d8 plus 1, and it was 8 plus 1,
That's
by the way.
incredible.
Yeah, don't mess with Rodrick's
It's
hair.
the most ridiculous thing in the
That's
world.
intense, dude.
Dude,
From Death's Door.
if it wasn't here, I honestly wouldn't believe it. This whole time I've been nervous about that roll.
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
and I'm going to drag him another 15 feet underwater. Call of Cthulhu. Style.
Yikes. Okay. I will say for this one, because you guys have been going back and forth, please make for me one more strength check.
At advantage, at disadvantage?
This
Or
one,
normal?
I'll say at advantage because you were technically flanking at the start of it.
It's a 6.
Wow, with advantage, dang.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 7 and a 6.
Starting to pull away, you can feel now as you start to go in deeper for a moment, and he just kind of kicks off of you, pushing himself back to where he just was, as you now kind of bridge that, or rather, create a gap between the two of you in that brief moment.
Okay. And then, at that point, I'm going to look over to Arlyn, and I'm going to motion to him and give him Bardic Inspiration. Bonus action?
What was the cure wounds?
Action.
Okay. I'll say because you attempted a grapple still.
I thought
we're
he
gonna
was already
hold off
grappling him.
Until he was not after the throat punch and the
Oh, I
the
didn't know
drag
that.
back.
I thought it was.
I thought he was just
we were still
walking. I thought he was just moving.
Right. No,
Yeah,
so
That's why I was
yeah.
confused while you were asking for
Yeah,
the
for the
check.
NPC
Okay.
round, I was saying that they were now separated when Arlyn saw already that they had turned in combat, and so he is no longer grappled in that moment. But yeah, hold that thought for
How
next
well
time.
do orcs swim? That's my
You're
question.
finding out now, I guess.
Okay, so no Bardic Inspiration then.
Yeah,
No bonus action.
no bardic inspiration just yet. But with that, we'll see what the orc does actually. Funny enough, despite the fact that you've put in some work here, I'd say that the one closer to you is a little bit more hurt by Arlyn's interference here currently.
Oh, good.
And
I'd also like to point out that he has been fighting underwater for 12 seconds,
yeah,
getting
it's not ideal.
getting pierced and slashed.
Yep. No,
Good point.
I'm making a few different rolls right now, and they're not what you want.
I'm sure if he was holding his
Never
breath,
know.
he wasn't holding it as efficiently as if he wasn't getting pierced by a sword.
Okay.
He did seem kind of dim though, so he might not be, he might be calm through all of this. The other guy dragging me is not. It seems a little
Calagon.
smarter for some reason.
He can also breathe.
Does a 15
like a potion.
hit
Yeah.
Calagon?
Huh?
Does a 15 hit?
Oh yeah, it does.
Very good. Largely softened by the water, slowly kind of dampening the pressure of the blows, you feel now where your head starts to just meet a literal rock and a hard fist as this orc above you just starts pummeling, just beating away and just
You're
punching
dead,
your head,
Calagon.
hit after hit.
Haven't even entered yet.
It's going to be a grand total of 3 bludgeoning damage underwater.
Cool.
That's the beauty of the
Ow.
underwater fighting, right? Because
Are
he
you
got
down?
halved.
Oh.
His specifically for
Yeah?
reasons.
Oh, wait a second.
I'm
was
down.
halved.
Congratulations.
No, I'm not
he's
down.
I mean, I'm back to full health, so it doesn't matter. But would the throat punch have gotten halved? Because it's bludgeoning.
No. But
Just
with that,
disadvantage.
as this orc is coming up Arlyn's way,
Do your worst.
does an 8 hit.
Yes. No.
Figured as much. This orc then is going to use his movement to try his best to just get his head out of the water, as he is in fact suffering. And to his great joy and surprise,
I'm so sorry. Quick question.
yeah, what you got?
When he decided to get away from me, would that not have prompted an opportunity attack from me?
I think functionally, I was kind of looking towards something else, but the truth is he would have hit towards Arlyn regardless and would have needed to keep his guard up. Go for it.
15 to hit.
15 to hit. Let me double check for just one brief moment. That I do believe is... What are you hitting with?
I'm hitting with a dagger.
A hit.
Haha.
All right. Let's do this. If I can grab my dice. All right. 6 piercing.
6 points of piercing damage. That looked pretty good. Okay. As
Sounds like
he
it's about
swims
water.
off, it's almost as though he didn't even notice.
Oh.
As you now just cut away at like the full side of his leg as he's just like swimming back away from you and
How
panicked.
strong are these
Eventually
orcs?
just
Well, I wonder if he raged because then he'd be halving all of
and
this.
is kind of just now taking that moment to breathe as he just and drops his head back underwater for a brief moment, staring you again directly in the eyes, Arlyn. But Cleave,
I'm
you
gonna
instead
make
are
my
the one
hair
to make the next
mist
move.
even harder.
You're
I
watching
am
your best
going
friend
to-
get
Gonna be
humbled.
bubbles.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, as calmly as I can,
My hair follicles.
just calmly walk over
That's
right here.
calmly. Oh my gosh.
And these two are basically near the surface, right?
Cleave is just gonna watch
I
us die.
picture
They're
myself
pretty
like
darn close, yeah.
almost under the water, just getting hit. Like
So I'm gonna stand, shield clipboard in hand, just sort of like, and do this. And I'm gonna try to shape water like a little like parting of 5 feet of water, as I speak to them and
Okay,
say,
Moses.
just kind of keep it like flushing out of their faces as I say, test over, report to the beach, and I walk more steps over towards the next people.
Okay. Make a deception check. Still, unfortunately, at disadvantage.
I ain't stopping until they disengage. If they disengage, I'll stop.
Well, you guys wouldn't have heard that one yet anyway.
I would never. That way too deep.
Is it already in that one?
The first one was in that one. So,
Cleave's
so
antics
lame.
have gotten him away,
So
gotten him out of some
bad.
unusual situations thus far. This, however, is not one of them.
Oh boy, I have nothing. I don't have my net anymore. I have no more spells, no more wild shapes, no nothing. I got nothing but my lies. All right.
Nothing but my lies.
It's in this moment that Cleave learns that lying is not a proper solution. Arlyn, I'd imagine, however, will likely have a much different solution. So what sir, will that be for this round?
Oh, I'm lunging my javelin right through his chest.
Okay.
Learn that.
23.
It's this side of the table.
Very good.
We gotta sit over there next time.
I rolled a 0.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Manny's
The
throwing
one
it.
time.
Oh, no, he didn't get the 2 8s.
I rolled a
You've
0
seen
too.
many
Yeah, but 2 8s is
times
crazy.
throughout your life, Cleave, as you turn and just kind of keep an eye over your shoulder, there's this brief moment of almost instinct kicking in as you immediately recognize what isn't there. And instead, what you think in that brief instant, just brief millisecond, is a fish flopping at the end of a spear is instead an orc pinned now to this stairwell as it falls limp.
I also rolled
What
eight
is it
damage.
Arlyn now
Arlyn has
piercing this
killed
orc
the sword.
directly
Just
through this orc.
right through the orc
I don't think
above the water.
I don't think you'll be able to
You're not
convince
doing non-lethal or anything? You just killed him?
No, he said he was going straight through the gut.
He
Okay.
killed
Yeah, I don't
Here
think
we go.
I don't think
Test,
you can
test
off-
is over, Cleave.
First off, all I
someone
did
test
was
anymore.
get the signal from
Yeah, no,
underwater,
It's fine. It's just my decision.
protect my own,
Yeah.
and see that they're all getting pummeled.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on above the surface.
Getting
So-
pummeled.
Hey, they didn't
as
wanna,
he's writing
They
notes.
didn't want to talk, dude. I said it. I said when we started, I said I don't want to resort to violence, but
Yeah.
he resorted to violence by taking that vial. So then I had to.
Violence. Love what you did there.
It is at this point that Barry now swims back up
Name
from
for the
deeps,
episode: resorting to
Yay.
violence.
eventually showing his face once more.
Barry's back.
Very excited to realize that there is once again air to be breathed, and he just starts swimming upward, but
Who?
instead going
The other
closer
guy?
towards Calagon. Barry,
Oh,
now
Barry.
on the scene.
Barry's
Calagon, it is
I just
yours.
skewered an
It's
orc.
my
Barry's
turn
turn.
again. Sweet. I mean, at this point,
Cut to
I'm
Dave.
getting pummeled. My best
Session.
friend isn't helping me, so I'm going to.
I'd love to go through this without any death involved.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to reach for my dagger and throw it at him,
Okay. I mean, you guys are like touching at this point, so
so I don't have to throw it.
No,
I,
no.
I didn't know if my vision was blurry because of
he's-
water or.
he's been like holding you with one hand and just beating
All right.
down on you. So it's he's
Well, then I'm
definitely
gonna grab it and just try to get on the side of his
very good.
neck.
Roll to hit.
neck, maybe.
Let's see if it
I'm not
works.
using you anymore. Let me try this guy. Yeah.
Thing?
10 to hit.
10. Okay.
Not working. Yeah, of course.
Between the constant blows and the water slowing you, there's a moment where it seems like you might get him, but as he starts swinging, he starts hitting just face, chest, arm, and at some
They're
point you
going
just kind
in.
of
We're going in too.
lose that arm for a split second as you now slowly start to wind it back up. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Well, I do have 2-weapon fighting, so that means I can attack because it's a light weapon.
Fighting? Yeah, for sure.
So I can attack again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm gonna do.
We got Rogue Calagon. This is amazing.
It's okay. I don't like that one anyway. I got this one. 11.
I thought it was a 1. I was so
Right.
mad.
Unfortunately, that is also a miss
Yeah.
currently.
Sweet. This is a great day, guys. This is a great day.
This is awesome. First Bastion.
Welcome to the Bastion, y'all.
Almost dead.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna cry for Cleave anymore. Now I'm gonna cry for Barry. So.
There you go. Barry does still get his turn.
Sweet. So Barry is gonna just fly down and try to attack this guy's eyeballs.
So he is currently underwater as well. So,
Claws.
remind me, what is his speed?
His speed is 15 feet, fly 60 feet.
Okay. Technically speaking, I would still then allow his halved total flying speed, just given that it's not dissimilar, I'll say. So he would be able to reach right up to where you are currently, from underwater still.
Okay. So he goes. So I get to roll the hit.
Yeah, if you like.
He's gonna try to bite him. So
Nice.
multi attack.
Definitely a distraction.
Gosh.
Bro, change your
What is
dice.
going? I have. I've used every other die. I have.
Take a Rodrick die.
I kind of don't even want to do this because I'm gonna get mad when
If
I
it
roll
works,
fantastic.
It's so
I need to
frustrating.
know what my. Oh well, that one's not gonna hit anyway. 12.
Pretty good.
That's better.
Better.
So that's 16.
Double digits.
after the
16 hits,
modifier.
yeah.
Yes! Let's go, Rodrick dice.
I thought it was 12 total, and I
It
was
was
about
still
to be so sad that I
Barry.
tell you they wouldn't
Something
hit.
about
It wasn't
Arlyn
me
dice
though.
today, though.
It was Barry.
Yeah, for real.
So that's
Barry's the real
1d4
melee
plus
combatant.
2. Yay, 4, 6 total.
6 total points is enough, luckily, in this instance, to get this orc to just like loosen up an arm for a brief moment and realize that there is a dragon biting his arm.
Yeah. Sheesh.
A dragon just appeared from underwater and is biting his arm.
It's got to
Yeah.
be some kind of nightmare for a Bastion guard, right?
Rodrick, you're up.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I popped. And I'm at full health. Goodness gracious.
Ridiculous.
Okay, how far am I from the other orc? From Calagon? I can
From
use
the
a
one that's
ruler.
still alive, currently 30 feet.
Oh, literally exactly 30 feet,
Yeah.
and I can flank with Calagon. Is that all right?
But you don't have
let's
swimming
see.
speed, so don't you swim at half speed?
Do we swim at half? Well, I've been doing half speed.
You would
while
be able
grappling.
to flank specifically with Barry, actually.
Okay, yes, flank with Barry.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So then I'm going to swim out that way. And when I land there, I am going to take my dagger and I am going to plunge it straight into his chest.
Okay. Let's find out if that works out how you hope.
Okay, 16 to hit.
16 does in fact hit. Well done.
And then 5 damage.
5 damage. Nice. Okay. As impressive as your knife skills are,
He is raging, so I guess it's
this
what,
orc,
2 damage.
much like the previous, ironically enough, also completely ignores the great Rodrick Elwood. Despite taking this damage, you can see now where the bewilderment on his eyes takes over, staring down now at his arm, as you can see just one hand reaching up and out and finally forming a fist and just starts swinging downward at poor little Barry here.
Very stronger than I am.
At least
so.
no horns
With a
have sounded.
13 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
Incredible.
Nope. Missed by
As
1.
now the last standing orc here at the entryway to this bastion starts just wailing. You can see now where he seems to have lost his composure in the mix after taking this potion.
Uh-oh.
And rather than bringing Barry in closer, he's moving his entire body as Barry now just kind of flails about, latched onto his forearm. And so he's swinging and missing, moving with his own form. As now, Cleave, you see this nonsense occurring.
I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna start
Is
just
it,
dragging the guy off. Everybody.
quick question.
No, you're not gonna
Is
give him
the
a
attack that
massage
he
or-
just did on Barry reckless?
It is. Why do you ask?
Well, because don't we get advantage on him?
You wouldn't necessarily know that normally.
So all weapon attacks are neutral now?
Double advantage for whoever's flanking because he's completely surrounded.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to
I'm
grab
sorry.
his like attacking weapon arms and try to like get him like a half Nelson, full Nelson situation.
Okay.
Try to stop his attacks.
Make a strength check. By all means, make an athletics specific.
This one's a natural 20. I made it, boys.
Hey!
You can see where the almost childlike movement is just keeping his arms open most of the time as he's keeping the dragon at bay far enough away from his body that his swings open him up at just the right time
For
to
an
just
old movie block, I catch him with
and just pull him back.
That's awesome.
I would have laughed so hard if he tried to do the whole test thing again and rolled a natural 20. And somehow convinced the guy, even though his partner's dead.
Wild.
That would have been the greatest end to
That would
this.
have been insane.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I just want to stop. I don't want to stop his movement. I just want to try to like grab onto his attacking arm. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm just
for
trying
sure.
to, like,
Absolutely fair. Okay. All right, then Arlyn, you're up.
So in one movement, I pull my javelin out of this orc,
Okay.
floating on the top, and I look at the other one and I throw it
Fantastic. Let's see it.
right at him. It's a 10.
10. As you just.
Would that make it advantage though?
How's
Yes. How's he looking? By
Yes,
the
it
way?
would be currently.
Is he looking all right?
From what you can see directly beside him, he's not
12?
too banged up currently.
Okay.
12?
And I'll tell you that the spear
great.
flying over his shoulder certainly doesn't change that at all.
12? So I missed. So I missed.
Flying over his shoulder.
Fine. So a spear just right out of the
But
water.
it's a very fun sight as now you get to see your two best friends appear to your great aid, as now Cleave holding him back as Barry is just biting away at his forearm. You finally get this moment of freedom.
As movement, I'm also gonna go and swim upward towards
Hold
shore.
on, before we end him, can I say something to the team?
Okay.
We're gonna use him for information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my plan. At least some.
So I'm just gonna say, don't kill him. Restrain him.
It is unfortunately only Arlyn and Cleave that would probably be able to hear that in this moment. Calagon and Barry would
outside of the
not,
water?
Okay.
as you would be able to speak to the masses above. I guess you could choose actually. Which set would you like to speak to? Above or below water?
So the only ones that are above are Cleave and Arlyn.
Yeah, Arlyn is technically now
I
like
just
just
beat,
above.
basically.
Yeah, so them two.
Okay. Cool. Alright. Then
Arlyn is
Alright.
like one move away from killing him.
I 100% am.
And
I already had drawn my sword as a free action on the way up.
fantastic.
Calagon has only rolled 3s and below.
Yeah. so you
Calagon,
don't have
I
to
would
worry
like
about
for
me.
you to make
Don't
a
worry about Calagon,
concentration
I'm dying.
saving throw. A Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
At disadvantage, of course. All right. 14 still.
That's pretty good.
Oh. Turn around?
That's really good.
Good.
That was,
Yeah, I haven't heard that in a while.
Wow. Okay. Beating most of the breath out of you. You are not currently suffocating, but you know that any second now you will be.
Okay.
And what would you like to do with that?
I'm gonna get up frantically.
Fantastic. Yep.
Is that like a action to get up? Or
It takes. It's underwater, honestly. I would say it takes 5 movement speed just to get up from where you're at.
Okay. I just want to get up, and I see Cleave restraining him. I'm gonna take my dagger and put it to his throat, and also try to restrain him with Cleave.
Okay.
How would I? I mean.
That will be considered the help action
Okay.
for the time being, helping Cleave to do what he's doing.
Okay. That's yeah. That's all.
Barry does also still have a turn if you'd like.
Well, Barry's just gonna pretty much be behind me, waiting to attack if he breaks the restraints again.
Love it.
So at this
Okay.
point, we're just trying to hold this last guy down.
Alrighty. Having now taken the peaceful route, and seemingly at your behest, Rodrick, you watch now as the friends of yours are now starting to pull back this orc and seemingly just restrain him. What are you doing with that?
Is he fully restrained?
He definitely seems to be in this moment.
Alright. then I am going to even more so take some rope and completely restrain him.
Okay.
I want no breaking out.
I'll say survival check at advantage given the circumstances. Just to make it an actual worthwhile hold. It's an unusual attack, but should work.
22.
22. It's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
What type of rope do you have?
Regular 50-foot rope, right?
Yeah, it should be the regular stuff from the kit that we get. How is this the first character that I don't find rope in my backpack?
Maybe you don't
You can
have rope?
pull stuff from my backpack. It's fine.
Use your clothes.
Pull a thread.
Okay, well, I'll
Oh, actually,
Then
I'm not sure
I'll-
I have rope anymore. I do have my chains though.
actually, can I utilize his chains? If not, I'll utilize my clothing.
Yeah.
And
I'd
I'll
say
keep-
as long as he would allow it.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, so I'll utilize his chains and completely restrain him.
Oh no, I got more rope at the Oz when I bought the.
Yeah, I
net.
feel like the chains are probably stronger than the rope.
All right.
if you can tie them or whatever. I don't know.
Will you accept him taking the chains?
Yeah, no, for sure. I leaned over my backpack to him.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that changes things a bit on his end for sure, as he is going to now continually struggle and feeling now these chains surrounding him on all sides as you start to just kind of like weave them throughout, literally as he's being held open to being imprisoned in this formatting. You watch now as these two start to pull his arms down as he struggles against it, and you now get to also tie portions of this around him. These massive, massive chains pulling solidly around his arms, but it's now up to you to hold him in place by holding these chains steady where they're at. Which you better believe he's going to try his best to escape with a 2 and a natural 1 at disadvantage.
Beautiful.
But
Wow.
he is foaming at the mouth. Angrily. Just struggling, kicking, biting, and headbutting in every direction that he can to the best of his ability.
So your in-service training is over.
Cleave, it is in fact your turn.
I'm pretty much saying that while I drag him onto land,
Very good.
or help him tie him, whatever
Alright.
like the order of
Then
operations is.
it's going to be Arlyn, followed by Calagon, and
So
then Rodrick.
I am going to be coming out of the water with my sword drawn, pointed straight towards him. And I guess I see him in service training. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm looking around and I'm going, Rodrick, where are the others?
Do you mean...
You called for backup.
Yes.
Were we not getting attacked?
Yes, well, by 2 of them.
2 of them. I see him restrained. I put my sword away. I go, all that for this.
Well, on account of the fact I almost died,
But you didn't.
I'd say...
Calagon, on the other hand, not looking his best.
I'm gonna punch the orc in the face.
Roll
Is
to
it my
hit at
turn? Are you
advantage
done?
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's foaming in the mouth. I'm gonna punch him in the face because he punched me in the face a lot. So, 14 plus 1, so 15.
Yeah, yep, certainly works.
Cool.
As now everybody's holding him down towards the sand. He's trying his best to just wiggle out of it, and just like pinpointing his movement for a split second, just clear impact direct to the face.
Oh wait, no. Okay, yeah. Sorry. What is it then?
So it would normally just be your
Just a 1. Okay.
a 1 plus your strength modifier to a minimum of 1 damage.
-1. Which means
So
really
0.
It's just 1.
It's like me.
It's 1,
all
right?
my unarmed strikes are 0.
Yeah, because it's -1.
Okay.
I think I found out recently the regular, usual, old-timey rules would be that you actually can get 0, but I think that's whack. We've always ruled that it's at least 1.
So yeah,
Okay.
in a very similar fashion to what you've just experienced, just one hit, and
Yeah.
you feel now as his head kind of bounces off the ground just lightly. Being that it is sandy, it doesn't seem nearly as impactful as it was on that stairwell just a moment ago with
yeah,
you.
That's fine.
Um,
After I punch him, I'm gonna ask, what do we expect to find inside?
Clearly ignoring any amount of words coming from your mouth, he is continuously headbutting and biting and just squirming. Rodrick, it is now your turn.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna take out poison, and I'm going to hold it over his mouth, and I'm gonna say, "You don't want me to drop this. Start talking."
Very good.
That's so awesome. That's exactly what I was
Very good.
thinking.
You have Cleave like, oh.
Training's
How does
over.
it feel, Cleave?
Walking
How does
up-
it feel?
And watching this as now all of your allies surround this man, just clearly like deranged in this moment as he and as you say this, he slows for just a moment before kicking up at the ground just lightly and kind of pushing against you. Being that you're the one holding him, it almost seems to pull him closer in that brief moment, as with one hand you hold him and the other you hold this vial. And does a 10 hit?
A 10? No.
Nice. He gets fairly close, as you can see these massive tusks just kind of start just chomping at the air in front of you.
He's a fighter.
Largely ignoring what it is you have to say.
Okay.
You don't have
Wow.
any truth potion, do you?
I don't.
Some Beardish serum?
But
Were you holding an action with that at all?
I am holding an action. Yeah, I'll just keep the. Is he really still ignoring me?
He's not ignoring you currently, but he's not responding to you verbally.
Okay.
It's a dangerous question coming from David playing
Rodrick.
Rodrick. Is he really still ignoring me? Yikes.
Okay, I'm going to actually. Is it okay if I switch my vials?
Okay.
All right, sweet. What is he wearing?
Is it Rodrick that can do that?
Currently, it is a kind of mesh of different furs that create this almost tunic of sorts.
Okay. So, can I see his skin in
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's plenty.
displayed in any part? Okay, cool.
Tattoo.
I am going to take out a vial of acid, and I'm going to drop one vial of acid onto his skin.
Okay. I'll say that would just be, I'll say a sleight of hand check at advantage
Okay.
as an attack. Shouldn't be too difficult for you, I'd imagine.
That's 20.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Ouch.
That certainly works, and so much so that if you would like, you may of course pour it on his face, dealing much more damage as the critical that
I don't
it
wanna do
is.
that.
No.
Okay.
No, I actually want
It's a family stream.
Actually,
It's true,
want to.
true. It's like you say you guys are thinking too much like Alien vs Predator. You know, you just think like lemon. It's just,
Is he-
a vial of lemon juice.
Yeah, there you go.
Question: is he wearing gloves?
As I skewer one from underwater.
No, he's not. currently.
With a lemon. Is it with a lemon?
With a lemon.
which hand did he use to drink the
Orc
vial?
meat skewers.
Wow, make an intelligence check.
I don't think I'm that smart. Give me a second. No, I'm not. Kind of dumb. 7.
7. Okay. Yeah, that's a
rolled a
random
3.
detail to
Kinda
try to
dumb.
remember in that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take my chances.
He rolled
I'm
an
going to
8.
pour
Rolled an 8.
the acid into his right hand.
Okay, very good. And the damage, please, sir.
The damage is... Eight points of acid damage.
8 points of acid damage. At this point, seems to be the first time that he's registering pain in all of this.
And I'm gonna tell him, I can make the pain stop if you talk. Or maybe you can use your weapon with your teeth.
Okay. In that moment, exactly as you had hoped, you finally hear him pipe up. I'll speak. I am the weapon. And he jumps back up for one more bite at you with a 16 to hit, surprisingly.
16 hits.
Are we still on initiative? Or?
Largely, yes. But, would any of you guys like to do anything else in that,
Yeah, for
in that
sure.
time? Okay.
Very sure, very sure.
Do go
As
on.
soon as the acid drops, the next thing that Cleave would like to do is say, I said it's over! And I want to do a gust and blow Rodrick 5 feet away at least.
I'm the only one holding the chains.
That's fine.
You're gonna let him loose.
Yeah, that's fine.
He watched me get beat. He threw you to
Nice.
trying to.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Figure
holding.
out what's
I'm
going
holding
on.
him. I've been holding him, and he's been helping me.
No,
Yeah,
he said the
but
only
they
reason
are-
he's restrained is because of me.
The chains are being held specifically by Rodrick, but they have been helping to suppress him largely.
Yeah, I know. I imagine if he's over here like uncorking vials and pouring him onto the guy's arm, like
Yeah,
can't
for
just
sure.
be
They've
him holding everything
the
down.
three of you guys have
Hand.
largely been holding him down together.
so. Yeah, okay, so it makes sense that it'd be us three. All right.
Okay.
Do you take falling damage?
The gust.
Would it be fall?
Does that have a save to it?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
I'm assuming
So
Dex.
that's going to be a strength saving throw.
Oh, great. My worst. Can I use acrobatics?
So you're weak.
Backflip out of the way.
So you're
Currently.
weak and dumb.
We said no.
Oh.
2.
Yeah, this is the time. Finally. All right,
Okay.
that's good. That's good.
Friendly fire. Okay.
Golly. All right. I have rolled at disadvantage. I would like for both of you guys now, because of how restrained this guy is, to both roll a strength check opposing his at advantage.
All right. For the first one was bad, so let's
Still doesn't mean it
17.
will be
Dang.
easy.
Oh my gosh, 8.
What? How much did he bite me for? What was that?
Well, you're about to find out right now, as he wouldn't have actually made it all the way to you otherwise. But with his still 18 at disadvantage,
Man.
beating both of their rolls at advantage, strength check, you watch as he now kind of worms his way forward and just hops with like one final lunge, almost like tackling Rodrick into like the water at the base here now, clearly disregarding any chance of him even hitting his face on the stone or any other potential damage that could come from his actions. He is instead just chomping down on your friend now.
Very good.
With a grand total of 3 points of piercing damage
To who? To
to
me?
Rodrick.
Oh, okay.
To Rodrick.
Barry is standing by the way.
Long-term goal for
So-
sure has been to get him to the palm tree and tie him to the palm tree.
That makes
But-
a lot of sense.
But
Very
the
long-term goal.
acid pour on my dude was
Very good. Well, it is your
yeah.
turn if you'd like to make anything of this situation then currently.
I'm just gonna, like, I guess he kind of like jumped forward, so I'm gonna like kind of grab him at his head and like pull it up as though I'm gonna vampire bite him in the neck, but instead I just like kind of hiss in his ear, just like,
I said it was over. Do you want my help or not?
and I'm gonna start trying to drag him away.
Make either an intimidation or persuasion check.
Gosh, I don't even know at
Your
this point.
call.
They're the same. But
Which one will it be? That will determine other things here.
oh no, they're not. Nah, he bit Rodrick. I'll use my stronger one. It's intimidation.
Okay.
Regular? Gosh, I'm struggling today. 9.
Nice. He's definitely going for a bit of a nip at Cleave here as well. He's like, as you now grab closer towards his mouth, the one weapon that he seems to have left in this brief moment, as the chains are beginning to loosen around him slightly.
Well, the thing I'm mainly attempting to do is just drag him back towards the tree. That's
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna do.
For sure. Then yeah, make one more strength check at advantage, athletics.
The natural 20 once again. 21.
Very good. All right. And
As-
with that, you
Just gonna
get
let
to
off-
drag him for sure.
As I drag him away.
As he's dragging him and he's trying to get out, I'm going to unsheath my sword again and kind of point it towards him. And I'm going to say, "Can't you see you've lost? Look around. It was not my intention to kill your friend 4v1. Didn't really know what was going on out here. I was just protecting my own, as you are as well."
Okay, that'll be a persuasion check on your part.
"21.
21.
Bro, Arlyn is on his game today.
There's this brief pause where this man made monstrous in front of you lot's very eyes just kind of pauses for a moment and staring you down seems to take in your words for a moment as Cleave now has him pulled up and has like his hands on either side of this palm tree kind of pulled back, keeping him currently at least pressed against it as he just
The last thing we want is another casualty. We could have ended this by now.
I know that.
I'm gonna
Certainly.
sheath my sword again.
You must understand my duty. You must die, or you must leave. Those are your options.
Your duty is to protect this establishment.
My duty is none of your business, unfortunately.
Well, that's what it seems so, is it not?
It's
Do we
as I
have initiative, or
said.
can we tie him up to the tree? Sorry.
you can time. He doesn't seem to be fighting as much currently.
Is this a bastion?
This is a beach.
Oh, you're funny, are you not?
My loved ones seem to think so at times.
Once I get him tied up, I want to just like kick the sand and storm off towards the waters to go try to get his friend's body.
Okay.
Listen, we did not come here to fight you and your people. I am deeply sorry about what just happened under the waters. With no clear vision of what was going on out here, my assumption was we were severely outmanned and outpowered. But the last thing that we want is to come with violence.
He's not going to give us any information, Arlyn.
I understand.
Look at him. He's been fighting us this whole time, and he says he has a job.
I'm trying
Well,
to first
he's
aid
also
this dude.
tied up against this tree. We could just walk right in there.
Well, the only
But-
time I've seen a reaction out of him is when he saw Barry. Do dragons interest you?
I'm starting to think that he'll never learn.
Oh, Rodrick, are you back?
I'm like holding the bite mark on my freaking.
What do you want?
Peace, information.
How is it that you would claim peace? Claim that the last thing you want is violence, and yet you show up, and the first thing you enact is violence.
Well, my assumption was we were getting attacked.
I want to outburst.
How would
I
you
want him to live!
How would you
I'm just
react?
over there just like probably unnecessarily CPRing.
You're alive now. Doesn't that say enough
I
of
believe-
our intentions?
I believe this was all severely a misunderstanding, is what it seems. Especially with the lack of communication from being under the waters.
Hard to find misunderstandings this far out.
You were pretty quick to down that vial. You didn't try to understand the situation, and I know you have a job to protect, but...
Well, I understand the situation.
Can you tell us what to expect when we walk through that tunnel, through that cave?
Hands around your throat.
Is it just a bunch of you in there? More like you, just ready to fight?
More savages.
What would have happened if he blew this horn?
It's a good question. Give it a shot.
I'm gonna look at Cleave. This is
Just
getting harder and harder, Cleave.
Is he dead?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, let's check these
very
dead.
dead.
I want to just like come panting over. Look up at him.
If this is our bastion, I'm gonna cut it all out right now. You serve us, and we haven't been back here for a very long time. We want answers, and we don't want any more of that. We should be on the same side.
They must have forgotten who we are. Pity. I'm gonna call Barry. Barry, on the shoulder.
You can see now he's just kind of moving his shoulder around. His hands largely loose at the base. You can see as he starts shifting and slowly starts just pulling harder and harder as he's now just kind of starting to loose one of his hands from the chains.
Would
Do you have a
just...
death wish? Do you want to die? We don't want to kill you.
I think that might be the best option here. Do understand this. When I get out of here, I will kill you. It is that simple.
Really?
Cut
You
and
work
dry.
for us.
I'm gonna walk around to the back where the chains are pretty large, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna grab my javelin, extend it, and between two of the chain holes, I'm gonna pierce my javelin straight through the ground.
Very
and
nice.
say it's gonna take a lot more than just a little bit of pushing.
Understood.
Especially if you are hostile against us still.
And is that all?
No. We're trying to talk to you.
You're
Trying
refusing.
to ask me what happens if the horn was blown, what happens if the threshold is crossed, what happens if, I don't know, you had come not pulling blades on the two of us.
So here's a
It's
proper
quite a
question.
conversation. Yes.
Why are you here? Were the bastions not abandoned years ago?
Why are you here? Well, the Bastion's not abandoned years ago.
We are here to return to our bastions. As we say, it has been a long time. So our question is, who currently captains this place? Who is the steward of our bastion by the sea?
You might be surprised to find that we are on the same side. And we do have the same enemy.
He looks over at the orc body laid out in the sand, clearly just cut up. He just nods.
If you would stay still for a bit, we'll leave you alone for a while. I know this hasn't been easy. Come here.
We can't leave him alone.
Not that alone.
He'll never change.
He needs...
And he's not even going to talk to us.
He needs a second to think.
All he is a savage orc. And with that insult, I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery.
Very good. That was what, wisdom?
On who? On him or on Cleave?
On him.
Because I could see the insulted look on Joel's face.
I've been attacked by nothing but orcs today. One of them being one of my teammates. So
That is fair. I take it a 10 does not save.
no, it does not.
Very well.
But only one.
Do go on.
Only one psychic damage.
1 psychic damage. Okay. Very
But
good.
he has
There's light wincing.
disadvantage on next attack roll in case he tries to do anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to the other body and loot it.
No, sorry, I react very immediately. Well, that I'm not even looking at that, I guess. But yeah, you can do that while you're. I just wanted it's gonna get very confrontational up in here. I'm just gonna grab Rodrick by his clothes and just we can't keep torturing him. And just try to basically drag him away.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at Cleave and I'm gonna say, and where were you when he cut my neck with a knife?
I was trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to put a stop to it.
I say you choose a side. Just because he looks like you doesn't mean he's on yours.
As I'm looting through the body, I'm gonna turn to the orc and were you guys related by chance?
And just kind of gives you another look. It's apparent that from the simple garb of these two men, he doesn't have anything on him aside from another potion like the one that Rodrick took from him.
Okay.
That's a good potion
So I'm
to
gonna
have.
take that potion, and the orc doesn't respond to me. No.
You're looting the body and talking to him too now? Just.
Well, I'm seeing if there's any identification, as you do at a crime scene.
All right. Man.
Been taking potions.
We can dig a hole and put him in with his head above. Just for now, we don't have to kill him. What do you suggest, Cleave?
Give him more than 3 seconds to process what we just did to his friend.
Well, I think the hole in the ground will help that, yeah.
Have you guys played The Last of Us?
What happened?
No? Have you
Have we
played
watched-
the
yeah,
game
yeah.
The Last of Us?
Oh no, I've been watching.
Have you seen season 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we just did. Yeah,
Let's not
create another
leave
Ellie, yeah.
Ellie alive to come back and kill us later. Let's not do that.
Hey, spoilers.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
live
see.
on stream.
Oh,
We'll see.
man.
It's from a video game from years ago. Everyone knows.
Nope, not me.
Man.
Good to know.
I'm just gonna take a few steps away. I'm gonna go sit down somewhere else.
Go ahead and move your token.
Should we tell him who we are? Maybe
I'll be
that'll
proud of
convince
this.
him.
Go sit under the shade of that tree. over
At this point, if you value his life, I think that that's the only route. Because if he believes that we're a gang of bandits and not who we actually are, then he'll try to come after us if we leave him alive. And thus leading him to obvious death.
Have you ever heard of story of uniting the bastions? And is there any
No response.
folklore? Or do you know anything outside of this world you live in?
Are there any pictures inside of the walls of this place?
Nothing from this guy.
Well, only one thing left to do.
Have you heard of the 4 Horsemen?
Make an insight check.
Nine. Great.
This guy is unwavering.
Going through my backpack.
I'm gonna start
Yikes.
looting him.
Okay.
If you won't talk, I'm gonna see if there's anything that can
This
tell us who
point,
you are.
We painfully have no other choice.
Well, he did talk.
It seems.
He did talk when I took his right hand. He's got one left. And I look at Cleave. Your choice, Cleave.
You don't want to give me any more choices today, Rodrick.
It's his hand or his life. You heard them. If he doesn't talk, we can't take chances.
Maybe we can use him as a distraction, a decoy.
How? He bites. I don't want to be anywhere near him.
Maybe if we position him on the other side of the beach. And
The second he gets close to any other person in this bastion, he's just going to blow our cover. There's nothing we can do.
you think people are gonna believe that he saw a dragon and a dragon man and a blue guy with bald and misty hair, and kind of hard to describe.
Well, I think they'll believe him when there's no sight of his teammate.
If there's any way we could put him to sleep, maybe safely.
I'm gonna go pick up his friend and just start walking off around the side of the beach.
With the dead body?
Oh yeah. Just, can I like grip him or something? Anyway, we're gonna walk over to the side.
To be honest, guys, they have to take shifts, or there's gonna be somebody out here soon.
Well, what we could do is, I do have something in my bag. It's not pretty, and I think we'd all have to discuss it before going that route.
Well, let's talk amongst ourselves, and then we can bring it up to Cleave.
Lots of lemon juice.
So I have this item that I can force him to drink. It will give him pretty much a limited amount of days left, unless we can heal him for the other damage we've done. But it will continuously poison him every 24 hours. And if we leave him at the tree, he will surely die. He probably has about 3 days left. And I pull out the pill tincture.
I didn't find
And I'll-
anything looting him, did I?
You did not, funny
Yeah.
enough.
And I'm gonna read it. It says, a creature subjected to this poison must succeed on a DC 16 Constitution saving throw or take 3 1d6 poison damage and become poisoned. The poison creature must repeat the saving throw every 24 hours, taking 3 1d6 poison damage on a failed save until the poison ends. The damage the poison deals can't be healed by any means. After 7 successful saving throws, the effect ends and the creature can heal normally. Ingested. A creature must swallow an entire dose of ingested poison to suffer its effects. The dose can be delivered in food or liquid. You may decide that a partial dose has a reduced effect, such as allowing advantage on the saving throw or dealing only half damage on a failed save. So we can pretty much leave him poisoned for a duration of time on a poison that can't be healed and leave it to chance.
But why? So you just want to kill him slowly
Well,
and not while we're around?
well, the poison, the damage that's dealt by the poison, he's obviously lower health right now. The damage dealt by the poison, I'll say it in Rodrick's voice, that damage can't be healed. But the damage that we've already caused him during the fight, we could probably heal that.
I don't know. Arlyn, I'm all out of ideas. What do you say? I think we can find a way to use him somehow. Would you be able to take his form, Rodrick?
Not right now, I'd have to rest, but perhaps if we do go this route, and it's a rather ugly, messy route, it'll remind him of his mortality, and maybe his duty to life will be greater than his duty to service.
We're threatening. We were threatening to kill him. I don't know if that's gonna work. He seems committed to his job.
Listen, I don't like torture, but when they don't want to talk, what other choice do we have?
Also, Cleave's not gonna like it. And I know that he makes weird decisions, but it's all out of the goodness of his heart.
Well, I wouldn't do anything right now without Cleave's blessing, because I think we all need to move forward as a team, even though I'm very, very peeved about what he did to me.
I understand. I'm not very happy either. He watched me get beat up, but again, for good reason, for good intentions.
I didn't want to do this bastion starting like this. I didn't want to bring death to this bastion. Every second that we move toward our goal seems to be another second move toward total world destruction. I'd like to take a different route, but can one of us come up with an idea that would seem viable? I don't know.
What time of day is it at the moment?
It's probably getting later in the day at this point.
I could still breathe underwater. The other option is to keep him tied up, drag him underwater, see if he talks. It's all torture. Every time I say it, it's just more and more torture. So if anybody has anything else that they can offer.
Is there any way we can explore the beach, find shelter, keep him with us, keep him alive, rest up till we have maybe more ideas, more abilities? We're exhausted. I think we should keep him as a prisoner.
At any point, who knows if there's a shift change? I mean, they would have to sleep eventually, correct?
Either way, that's why I think we should explore.
So when do the next guard show up and see that their guards are missing?
I can't answer that.
Set the whole bastion on high alert. A bastion that's meant to take down dragons.
I don't know, Rodrick. I just don't feel right about this. I feel like if we sit here and talk, someone's going to come out. It's going to be trouble. If we take him away and hide, at least we have a chance of hiding. We don't know. I mean, look around. We don't know. Does it look like the beach continues, or is it just...
At least to some extent, for sure, yeah. From where you're at.
We don't know the extent of this land. We can just get some time, straighten our thoughts out. Maybe he'll come. Maybe he'll come to see that we're not the ruthless bandits that he thinks we are. And I don't know. I think he's worth more alive than he is dead. To us.
I agree. I don't want to kill him. Have you spoken to Cleave? Does he have any other ideas? Maybe Arlyn.
No. Let's go find him.
Cleave.
I don't know if I safely could have gone as far up as I put myself, but
at the end where you're at, as
Yeah.
you kind of turn that corner, you find the entry to a cave. And you can see in plenty well from where you're at. It's not difficult whatsoever. There seems to be some unusual things just kind of littered about within, mostly tools and cases.
Okay. So it's hard floor there, or is it still sand?
It is hard floor inside.
All right, I'm gonna prop the guard up by the cave entrance, like as though he's sitting. And then I'm gonna walk around to check if it's safe.
Where at?
I'm gonna go into the cave. I'm gonna kind of like
Okay.
enter at the entrance,
Do-
see what's what, check for what's in there.
Do NPCs roll death saving throws or no?
It varies.
It varies. Did he?
Did the one that got skewered?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Yeah, entering in, it's pretty cut and dry what you're seeing here currently, for the most part, with the exception of some unusual rolls lying around the surface of this area, wrapped with this reddish, almost like a plasticky paper, if you will.
Okay. I guess I would go to inspect what's going on there. Does it seem
Okay.
like it's all just paper, or it's wrapping something, or?
No, for sure. Within the innards, as you kind of like unwrap and slide, there is this softened substance inside that is very similar to like a clay of sorts.
Okay. Does it seem? How's it smell? Does it smell like edible?
Definitely not edible, no.
Okay. I'm gonna just sort of place it back in place. Oh, they got another shovel. It looks like it's bigger than my little travel shovel, so if that's real, I'm gonna take that
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
and just start digging a hole outside. Outside the cave.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah.
On the other
Absolutely.
end, I'm gonna have drifted from the conversation
Okay.
and gone back to the orc with a sheathed weapon. I'm gonna kneel down in front of him and look him in the eye, and I say, we need to know, what do we need to expect inside?
And looks you in the eye.
Before you speak, I do want to severely apologize for how this situation went down.
I also would like to apologize. First, for my actions. In two parts. I'm not normally so uncouth, yet there are times where it finds its way to necessity.
Then I believe you understand my actions below.
And while that part has not yet come, the second thing that I must apologize for is simply not having killed you. And just spits in your face.
I'm gonna wipe it off my face. And I'm gonna look at him and say, you're going to tell us what is inside. Speak, and I cast Command, looking at his eyes.
Very good.
Let's go.
Okay, and what is the save?
12 Wisdom.
12 wisdom. In your dreams.
Damn, that was a dope
Didn't
moment,
work.
too. No. Unless it worked, he just spoke.
A worthwhile attempt for sure.
I tried.
That was really cool, too.
That was pretty cool. I'll tell you what. We did start much later than we normally would.
Mm-hmm.
I admittedly have to use the restroom. That being said,
Me too.
yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. We might hold off a little bit later. We'll discuss, see just how long this session is going to continue on. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes, guys.
See you guys.
This is rough. This is too rough.
Rough, dude.
Alrighty, welcome back, guys. It has been an exciting start to this Bastion's entry, but unfortunately, it has been just that. As unfortunately, the four horsemen are at odds with one another, continually going back and forth on whether to keep this orc alive, torture him, or just kill him outright. So with that, we pick back up with the party now discussing amongst themselves as they can start to see that Cleave is just gone from their sight. Rodrick, having just offered multiple options, I'll say very loosely, all of which didn't sound too great when leaving his lips. And the orc now having just spat in Arlyn's face. So as you turn from this, you can see that there is no smile, there is no pride in what he has done or said, but there is conviction. Unwavering conviction.
Well then. We would like to help in any way we can.
Leave.
Does he have torn clothes and things like that?
I mean, yeah, he's pretty messed up at this point.
Okay. As I'm talking to him, I'm gonna reach for like some of his torn garbs and with mending put it all back together bit by bit.
He doesn't even look at it. He doesn't seem to take any particular note. He's just kind of looking almost past you towards the ground for the most part.
What is your purpose?
My purpose is to get you to leave.
Clearly. Past that.
Past that. Get off the tree.
Well, there has to be a purpose greater than service, isn't there? It's got to be something you love. Perhaps a wife, maybe some kids.
Rodrick.
Something worth more than this. This isn't worth dying for.
His eyes just kind of shoot up. Not towards any of you, but towards the trail in the sand leading northward. Perhaps not to some, but to others it is.
Guys, let's take him over where Cleave's going. We gotta get him involved in this, and I just feel weird being near the entrance.
Okay, well, I'm not the one moving him. I tried that once. He bit me.
Well, I think we should both, while Arlyn stands by.
Or
Well, he's full of armor. Why doesn't he do it?
Well,
I will help.
he'll
I
kill him if he needs to, but we should be
look.
able to restrain him, just me and you.
I'm sorry to
Unless
say.
you restrain his mouth, I'm not going within an arm's reach of him.
Arlyn,
I may have a little bit more brute strength than the lot of you. Maybe I hold him,
just by yourself?
or at least one of you try and help.
Yeah, let's get him up and get him away from this entrance. If someone comes out and sees him tied to a tree and us talking, it's not going to be good for us.
Yeah, not great.
So, let's see where Cleave went, and
Yes.
we'll keep working on him.
So I'm going to go behind and
Me too.
I'm going to make sure I have really good hold of those chains
Mm-hmm.
before removing my javelin, and basically like coming around the tree.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys are able to pull him out and keep him restrained with relative ease at this point. He doesn't seem to be struggling nearly as much as he had previously. So you guys now start pulling him out and
it's-
over towards where Cleave is currently. Cleave, unfortunately, while there is sand here, especially closer to the edges, you realize very quickly it doesn't go very deep here. It's primarily stone, and the best you get is to be able to build up a mound of sand, largely, and at least cover him, if you so choose.
Okay. How deep does it go?
About a foot.
I probably figured that out with like my
If-
first
if
shovel.
that,
shovel
not even like
then.
yeah.
Okay.
It's very.
No, so then I just wouldn't dig there.
Just,
Um,
that's like at like the deeper side. It gets to a foot.
well, I mean, how far out? Man, I'm trying not to get him somewhere that he gets washed away.
Yeah. So.
Um,
Yeah, like the more beachy side is anything like just at this palm tree and past. Which
How big were those
just
crates that
becomes,
were inside?
Water again. Not exceptionally.
Not for him.
big.
Yeah, not, I'm not trying to do like that one town
the
we
one
went to.
orc
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
situation you already had.
Oh no, they're not that big. What's inside? Is it more of those things?
I guess you'd have a little bit of time still while doing all this. So, checking about. Please make for me an investigation check.
11.
11. It's largely just tools. Primarily things that have to do with like stonemasonry in part.
Okay.
But you do notice that there are these unusual like lanterns, one stacked on top of the next, and the one to the left.
Do the wraps smell like the well, just for lack of a better word, like the explosion that happened at the one goblin camp? Like any of that residue?
Make a perception check.
9. Oh, actually, I'm not even proficient in that. That's a 7. Yeah, 7.
You would expect something like that to smell more like ash. This, for whatever reason, actually has almost like a slightly sweeter, almost fruity aroma to it.
Okay. Well, in any case, and it doesn't look like anything medicinal I know of. I'm not familiar with it. Okay,
No.
all right. Only goes like a foot. I'll just. Gosh. I'll just sit down, just kind of defeated, I guess. I'll leave him sort of propped on the outside, and I'll sit on the opposite side of the cave, sitting in the same position like he is.
Okay. Alright. It doesn't take very long after this. Just kind of little beat up over there. Or you recognize that being led by all of your allies is that orc being pushed through, reaching now where you are.
What is it? Does it look like a mountain in front of us?
In front of you is these sheer cliff faces that just jut upwards like
Okay.
hundreds of feet.
And multiple levels
At
of that?
Multiple levels, yes. It's like this reddish rock that
And each level's
does
what,
have like a
like-
slightly dusty appearance to it.
Each level's like 20 feet or so, I'm assuming, or...
Maybe at the very, very low levels for a brief moment, but other than that, they are much higher.
Oh. Okay.
Very steep.
Alright. Where's Cleave?
You see him up ahead.
There he
Just
is.
kind of resting.
Cleave, what are you doing over here?
I wanted to bury him, but there isn't any good ground for it here.
I'm gonna
I
turn to
know.
the orc. Is that what you do with your dead? Do you bury your dead, or what are your traditions?
We do.
You do?
Mostly.
Any luck?
Nah, it's all. I dig the shovel that I found into the ground. I kind of like ding ding. It's all hard ground over here. Too close to the water over there. We'd have to find somewhere further inland.
Do you know of any place that we can properly dispose of the body? Respectfully.
I will do so.
I actually would like to let your people do it. Maybe not yet. But
Well, I mean, you know we can't untie you. You're just gonna try to kill us and run, and it's not good for us.
Makes sense.
If they're all like this inside, I don't know how we're gonna do this, guys.
What? If they're all like this depressed?
Stubborn, yeah. I don't know what else we could do to convince them that we're not here to kill and
I'm just gonna preserve
pillage.
And over the course of it, there is a cave we can rest in here. Is this? Do you use this for mining? What is this?
He just looks away.
Should we bury him in rock? Is that better? Nah, that's fine. Just go in there and get a rest. I'm gonna carry him over to the water and place him in sort of like a almost a fetal position.
The dead orc?
Yeah, the dead orc.
Okay.
Into the water, and then I'm gonna like freeze him in a 5-foot cube of water, and
Wow.
then just like rope that back over
Can I walk over to Cleave?
across the sand.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to Cleave. Hey, Cleave, I know this is not what you want to hear, but the only time he seems to have spoken is when he was made incapacitated by the acid. You know, if he doesn't speak, he loses his life, right?
Why does he lose his life? Why is that the option?
He said, when he gets out of here, he will hunt us down and he will kill us all. And that's just something I can't let happen. And I also don't want to be looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life.
That's fair. But would you say something so different if we were killed in front of you in the last 30 seconds?
I
And then
would
you were
have
being
talked
actively
immediately.
tortured?
I would have talked the second I knew I lost. Sometimes I can't shut up.
Rodrick Elwood, everybody.
Roger go.
Help me carry this, or drag it.
Okay, I'm gonna help him
I'm gonna
drag
sort of
the,
push
the
it
orc.
uphill. And so I don't even know. I bring it all the way up there.
I assume we start getting
And
closer.
I just get back to where they are. I want to pull us all together into the cave.
I say, Cleave, any ideas?
Why don't we just scout ahead? Find out for ourselves. Not now. We rest. I could just find a way to make myself quieter, less noticeable, like the less comical version of my usual. You know, I'm just kind of like.
So we split up.
Not yet. We have to rest. We haven't been able to think straight for a long while.
I don't feel safe in here. This is obviously a place that they utilize. What's to say they're not going to come by? And especially since there's no more guards out front, I think the first place they'll search is near the opening.
I mean, Calagon, have you felt safe ever since you left your farm?
At the inn, with that nice woman that runs the...
Well, I haven't felt safe ever since I left the forest. Especially at the inn.
Well, I mean, we're just sitting ducks here, though. One entrance, no way out. We can't fart our way out of here.
Do you know, the only time I've really felt, I mean, other than momentarily, really felt unsafe, was probably in the gladiator pits.
or you know, in the stocks. Until now, I think this is the first time I've ever felt unsafe with all of you. And then I walk out again and just pout more.
To be honest, I don't feel safe around Cleave either. He let me get beat up, and I don't know what's going on with him. It seems like he wants to save our enemies more than us.
Wow. That's impactful coming from you, his lifelong best friend.
I still love him, and I know where his heart is, but at what point is it diminishing returns? He can't save everybody. He knows that, but he can't help himself.
Well, then what can we do to get him to understand?
Listen, I don't think killing this guy is the answer either. It's got to
If he
be
gives us
some...
no choice, then what are we supposed to do?
If we kill him, we lose the trust of one of the horsemen.
What good is trust if we're all dead?
And if we don't go in there,
To some, having no trust is the same as being dead.
Well, I guess you'll have to ask yourself, Mr. Adventurer. Is destiny greater than friendship?
Whose destiny?
Calagon.
I'll be right back. I'm going, I guess, to where Cleave is.
I need to talk to you.
What's up, buddy? This is a sticky situation we're in.
It's getting crazy.
I
I'm starting to
understand.
think.
Dang, what was the exact words I held on to for so long?
Starting to think I'm feeling more defensive of their lives than of yours. than of the Four Horsemen.
Cleave, I understand. I know you more than them, and I'm not trying to tell them that your heart's in the right place, but you also have to understand that we're going to have to make difficult decisions along this way. And don't get me wrong, I don't think we should kill him. I do think we should keep him alive. I think there's a way that we can make everybody happy here.
My
but
problem was that the torture. We had killed one and I didn't like it, but we escalated so quickly from there.
Cleave, what's to say that if we got captured, that they wouldn't be torturing us to death?
No doubt. I don't have any problem with what anybody else might do. I want to talk about what we would do.
I do agree that the acid was a bit harsh, and I think that Rodrick was just trying anything to help us.
I think.
And I hand you my water skin full of, water breathing potion, mucus.
I think that if they torture him again, you ought to run to the water, take a good swig of this, and get as far away from me as you can.
Why? What are you gonna do?
I'm not doing this anymore.
Cleave, come on. We're all tired, and it's been a long day. We gotta figure something out. I think we're all getting a little too crazy. Just...
Don't come to school tomorrow, Calagon.
We're all trying to do the right thing, Cleave. They're thinking...
don't come to school tomorrow. No, Joel.
Wait.
That might have somehow been the least family-friendly comment on the entire.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Oh, what?
Can you mark that, Javi, so we can edit that out? Where were we?
He heard it in 3D sound in his headphones.
I should have said that one off mic. All right.
Sorry, do continue.
Sorry,
I'm so
let's
sorry.
get back to this.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That got dark.
I knew you were an introvert, but dang.
Splicing
I don't
for
even
the rerun.
remember.
No, just
I don't
kidding.
remember what we were just talking about. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to take our chances with them rather than... I would
take our chances with those who might be torturers before I take my chances with those who are definitely torturers.
Okay, Cleave, what should we do? You know I'm
I don't
with
know.
you.
I just wanted to give him a chance to think. Maybe nothing changes and maybe we have to make hard decisions. But I didn't want to jump on it so fast.
What
I
if-
just want to rest. Give him a rest. Ask his name.
Do you think after some sleep he's gonna change his mind? He obviously has a job. He has a duty to this land, and
That may be true. It may be.
would it make you feel
I
better
just
if
think we were hasty.
let him go and see what he does?
No, I don't know what the right decision is.
Because if we let him go, he will attack us and we will have to defend ourselves.
We could all leave. That's actually an option. That's what he wants us to
the
do.
Bastion?
At least for now. Come at a more advantageous position. Not just walk out of the water and get attacked and kill somebody.
It took so much to get here. How are we going to get another ride from a giant
We
sea
could
monster
find a
thing?
more reputable way in. Somebody represents this bastion. This is in someone's kingdom. We've had good success to some degree with ambassadors and making our way into kingdoms. We haven't had a lot of success with the orcs and with the goblins, admittedly. But there's got to be a better way than this.
So you want to convince Rodrick and Arlyn to leave?
If that's the only way. But again, we can still infiltrate after a little rest. We don't need him. And if he knows we don't need him, maybe he won't be so stubborn.
Okay, let's see what the other two say. I'm gonna start walking back into the cave.
I'll follow.
Hey guys,
As they're walking back in, I'm still going to be with the orc.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, "Are you thirsty?" As I'm like eating my rations next to him.
No response as usual.
I'm going to offer my water skin.
Clearly not making any difference.
I slide
Not
in
when he
his
doesn't even
frozen
look.
dead friend into the cave under the shade. And I push it up against the walls, and I put the crates in front of it, so it's not in immediate sight. But I need it to be somewhere very cool.
so guys, I think we need to talk. We're in a really bad situation here. Any second now, they could come out and find that we took one of their men hostage and killed the other.
Are we talking in front of the orc? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were all.
So
in
he
there.
can hear everything we're saying.
for sure.
Yeah. Maybe it's not a good time to come and try to unite them to our purpose. Maybe I know it was a long journey to get here, but maybe now that we know where it is, we can come back with a little bit more understanding and
How? We don't even know how we got here in the first place.
Well, we know the general direction. There's a big wall marking it.
In the middle of the ocean.
How long do we travel in the ocean?
like 2 hours, right? From
Make an intelligence check.
It's not gonna be a stellar. A 4.
Lovely.
Exactly right.
it's just what are we gonna do? We can't just walk through
But it
the
can't
gates.
have been like days.
We can't let him
if,
go?
If you could
No,
swim
it
there
was-
in 1 day, it's not that far.
It was within a day
Yeah.
that you made it here.
Okay.
We can't just walk in. We can't just let this guy free. We can't just kill him. We're all tired. We fall asleep here, we could wake up to blades at our throat.
No, we keep hitting watches like we always do.
Yeah, but what is a one person? We don't know how many are in there. They could come at us with numbers that will overwhelm us. I guess I'm just afraid of the unknown here.
Fair enough. Well, so long as they don't come back in less than an hour, I could get us all up the mountain by the time they even were in sight.
What do you guys think?
Get us over the mountain. How exactly?
Well, you know, I've always been trying not to give away all my secrets to this guy. In tune with nature. I think I've learned a lot from the dire geckos. Got pretty good at it.
And him?
If they came for us in droves, I wouldn't carry him up the wall, that's for sure.
So if we let him go, or if they find him, he knows everything about us, and it's going to give them crucial information to be able to defeat us.
There is no way to finish our objectives if we don't man every bastion. Arendor said all of the bastions, this one included. If he knows what we look like, if he claims to say that we came with war in our eyes and swords in our hands, then there is no other time that
What's going on over there?
That was me.
Okay.
I just made him dead.
there is no other time
With a red ring.
that they're going to accept us with open arms.
From what he said, they're not going to accept us with open arms, no matter what intention we have.
The
I
Vindra
asked-
dynasty wasn't built in the day. Alright? We have a long mission, and it's not all going to happen just now. Yeah, they could come back. Yeah, we could come back. That doesn't mean the mission's over. But I'm not saying we just leave. I'm trying to cross each bridge as we come to it. I'm trying to rest up now and see what our options are.
If we leave, we live. If we stay, who knows?
So let me get this straight. We leave him, and we go up the mountain.
This is if we wake up, if one of us wakes the other three of us up 2 hours from now and we see an army approaching, then yeah, we leave him and we climb up the mountain.
So in the meantime, we rest.
I don't think if we see an army coming, I don't think we'll have enough time to climb up anywhere.
We'll figure it out.
And how do we know that they don't have defenses up the mountain?
Well, not anything that I saw, and not anything they could get to us from the ground as quickly as I can go.
I've been trying to keep Barry on ground level for that fear. If I tell him to go look, he might not come back. Bottom line, guys, I'm at your mercy. Whatever you decide, I'm okay with. If you want to leave, I understand. If you want to stay, I understand.
I think some rest would be necessary. Now my fear is, let's say we do flee. He knows a lot of information that he is frankly not supposed to know. He knows who we are. He knows what we do. He knows where we would have gone.
Well, why don't we just rest on it? We'll have clearer heads.
Are there any marks or anything on this orc representing like any tattoos or markings or
Nothing that you've seen. Surprisingly clean.
nothing on his clothes that show like a symbol or nothing like that?
Surprisingly not. No.
Oh, wow. I tried. Had a cool idea, it didn't work.
Well then,
Who's gonna take the first watch?
I'm going to sleep.
I will take first watch.
I'm gonna go over this area and take a nap with Barry. Next. Wake me up if you guys change your mind.
I want to walk over and sort of whisper just to you. That new ability I have, it recharges pretty quick. So, if somebody has to take the second watch, I'll be ready at least with that.
Perfect.
Alright.
Very well.
I'm gonna go lay down too. Go to my own corner of the cave.
Where are you at?
Actually, I'll probably go closest to the dead orc because nobody else would want to sleep near it, and also it provides AC.
Go ahead and move closer, wherever you'd like to go. Alright, and for Rodrick and Arlyn?
I am going to. I'm staying where I am and
Go behind this.
I'm going to go by the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide behind the box of dynamite.
Make sure that
Very
I have
good.
a wall to lean against, but also have clear vision of the outside. And I'm gonna keep practicing my mending on my sword. Try and make it as new as possible.
You guys all kind of prep accordingly, trying to find your place in this. You watch slowly as the sun starts to fall lower and lower on this cave that you guys are all in.
As I fall asleep, I want to try to like call out to Arendor. I've never successfully talked to him like this, but I want to try to get some kind of direction here.
Okay. As you do so, you kind of just fall back into the corner beside this dead orc. Arlyn, you said you're just at the lip of the cave?
Yeah, I'm right by the entrance.
Okay. Alright. And all of you guys are resting except Arlyn, you're taking first shift.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Please be a good one.
True.
Yeah, no.
Do I see a 1 from all the way over here?
It's a 7.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Great.
Okay. As
You see easy, I see stuff. That's good.
night starts to fall and darkness begins to enshroud the opening even of this cave,
Darkness falls across
there's
the
a
land.
brief moment of peace.
Emphasis on brief.
And you get a chance to think on the situation. Just kind of looking out, keeping a watchful eye. And in this peace, you turn away just long enough that looking back, fully chained, eyes dead set on your own, you can see now as hopping off with very, very light noise from the rattling of chains. You hear just metal scraping against metal. And finally, against wood. As this orc, for the first time, smiles, looking your way, and goes airborne, crashing into the crate beside Rodrick as he lays. The entire
There you
cave
go, we're all
erupts
dead.
in light.
Erupts in
light.
Like
And
firelight?
in a brief moment, pitch black becomes blinding white. And the heat that surrounds you reminds you of the day that you had lost your parents. As in an instant, your allies vanish from sight, entirely consumed by flame. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Beautiful. That's what I wanted, basically.
What?
That was the best case scenario for Cleave. That was great.
How are we gonna go into the insight check after this?
Love you guys.
Oh man.
Well, we're doing live
That's,
insight check.
that's-
Divine inspiration.
I no longer
I
have
mean,
that's,
not
that.
insight check, divine inspiration. What?
Oh, into a divine inspiration. That's what you're saying. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying from next week is gonna be insight check.
So,
Wow.
Well, I just have silence right now.
yeah,
That's crazy.
That's a fun one. Let's
No more decisions. No more hard decisions.
What?
Let's keep
It's over.
it brief. Give a little love to the audience out here, and
Oh,
Well, I'm
man.
convinced
We'll
Cleave
get
is going to
to-
get us all killed.
continue
No,
this
I did get us all. We're dead.
on next week.
That's it.
I think those are flares, probably dragon flares.
Calagon is the only one outside of the range
That's
currently
nitrous. That's nitroglycerin.
Sweet.
of taking full damage.
We're done, bro.
You will automatically take half damage.
Okay.
Instead, everyone else,
Just lay it out there.
everyone else will be receiving. Yeah. Let me double check here on Arlyn.
We're all gonna die.
That is within range. That is going to be
We should. That's a lot of.
a full 35
Oh,
points
dead. 35 damage?
of damage.
Everybody. And then I
Oh,
get...
so we're dead.
Except for Calagon.
Yeah, I get like
who-
17
Wait.
and a half, though.
So you're dead.
Hold up. Double hit points
Yeah, like times 2. Yeah, dead.
is immediate death.
Yes.
What kind of damage
It's wait,
is
how
it?
much? 30 what?
Fire
35.
damage?
35?
35 points of damage.
It's not force damage, is it?
I might survive.
It is
35 divided by 2.
bludgeoning
Bludgeoning.
damage, believe it or not.
Sweet. Well, come see the eulogy
What's
next
35
episode.
divided by 2?
Yeah, 17 and a half.
So you have 1 point.
I would say
1 point
it will
I'm getting half.
round in
Die.
your favor in this instance to 17 points for half for you.
Wait, you're getting half damage too?
Well, no.
No, only.
Oh, only me. Well, it doesn't matter.
So I had 15 points of health.
Is that your max health?
No, max health is 18. So you did 35.
Yeah.
So what am I?
Then
Am I insta-killed?
this next session will start with every single one of you guys rolling your death saves.
Nice.
Yeah. Sweet.
And determining if we will instead just cut it short after our insight check.
So,
This was fun, guys.
Congratulations on making it to the first bastion, everyone.
This was fun.
so if
Thanks
I,
for watching.
so I'm probably not going to be here during Insight Check or next week.
Fair, very good.
So I'd like to just place my really quick 2 cents.
Okay,
One,
absolutely.
my heart is beating very fast right now. Okay, just like to point that out in this room.
Okay, very good, very good.
2, if we somehow survive, which I would be very hard pressed to believe that Rodrick, out of everybody, would survive.
Yeah.
And if survived, would not be permanently disfigured.
Very good.
This will change the complete trajectory of his character.
Oh yeah, for sure. All of us. No.
And when I tell you, any ounce of mercy that was ever there would be gone. If you thought if you wanted to turn him into the actual Horseman,
Yeah.
a disfigured, disgusting-looking version of a bard, he's gonna turn into the mouth of Sauron. That's literally
Yeah.
what it's gonna be.
Wow.
we're having an insight
Barry's
check right
gone.
now.
That's what I'm most upset about, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, Barry's
Calagon,
dead.
he was already, Yeah, but Barry's toast.
Barry's gone.
I have no
Gone,
words.
gone.
I
You
literally
should
have no
killed
words.
him.
All right,
Weird.
at this point, we're doing an inside check. All right, for the record, my plan was to kill him during my shift. I was gonna silently kill him.
So,
Why didn't you choose for your shift to be
Why
first?
did
We'll
you
find
wait?
out next week, that's why.
oh my
All right, Manny, do you have a verse this week?
Yeah, let's go.
I believe most appropriately you said it was from Lamentations, is that correct?
Yes.
It is from Lamentations.
It's from Lamentations, yes. But it's a hopeful one, guys.
So
I'm
good.
so depressed right now.
Dude, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I'm actually grieving right now. I didn't need this. This is a tough week for me.
Well, you know what? Lamentations 3 22 to 23.
I might need this more than anything right now.
It
Right.
says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning." We didn't reach the morning, though. "Great is your faithfulness." Wow. Well,
Straightforward on that one, huh?
pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
Praise
Not much to
God.
say on that. That is an encouraging word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Let me pull it up in front of me. What, Lamentations, what is it? 3?
3:22 to 23. So, I guess a hopeful word for the viewer after this detrimental session. So that basically translates to every day is a fresh start. Every day is a fresh start, and God's mercy never ends. So even when you are not very merciful to yourself and you beat yourself up over the smallest things or mistakes, or even if you are trying to walk a righteous path and you mess up, you slip up, you fall in sin, as long as you can turn that over to Him, His mercies are new every day, because He knows the heart and the intention behind your remorse towards falling into sin. And I mean, if we look at David, look at King David in the Bible, and God speaks greatly of David, a man after His own heart, and the dude fell
Yeah.
a lot.
Yep.
Talk about
Messed up
God's
pretty hard with
grace.
that. Yeah, there was like one real instance that was just, yeah.
I mean, adultery and murder.
yeah, yeah, not a great
lies.
instance there. Yep.
Yeah,
he did a whole lot.
all in one, not counting anything else that he did. But God knew that he was a man after God's heart, and that tore him apart. Understanding that he did wrong against God tore him apart, and God's grace is just, never ending.
The closest comparison, when I read this verse, what I think of is the love that I have for my children, and how my children fail every day. They're kids, they're learning, they're growing, and every morning is a new day. And I don't hold a lot against them. So, God's the same way. We fall short every day. We're all sinners, but His grace and His faithfulness is something that, we aspire to be perfect. We know it's not possible, and we just thank God every day for accepting us every single day. Just like I said, just like what I think about my kids. When they mess up, there's really nothing that they could do that can make me stop loving them, stop having faith in them. Like, steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. The closest comparison is love for my child.
Yeah, this reminds me of something I heard this week, actually, which is the fact that God, living in the Trinity, lives in a set of relationships in perfect communion and in perfect love. And out of God's love comes creation, and God doesn't have to create. He never had to create to experience, to know what the experience of love is. Had God been a singular being,
God is love.
the only way to experience
specifically
love
says that.
is in creation. But in the fact that He lives within the Trinity, He does not have to create. But out of His love, like I said, comes creation.
Yeah.
And God also doesn't have to be merciful.
Yeah.
Yet He still is,
Yeah.
because of that steadfast love. So I feel like the mercy can't exist without the love, and the love can't exist without the mercy. It's like all kind of conglomerated into one, and that just kind of puts me in a state of gratitude constantly.
Yeah.
Because not only do we not deserve His grace, but we don't even deserve to be here.
Yeah.
It's out of His own love that we're even able to sit here amongst friends and experience even this game. You know what I mean?
If it wasn't
So-
for him giving his only son,
Yeah, a lot of times I get when I get like, you know, really existential. I'm like, man, I really could have just not been here. Like, it's not a roll of the dice. God is, and He's intentional. But like, from my perspective, it's almost like I could have not existed, and I could have had any God. You know what I mean? It could have been not the perfect God, but that's the reality. Instead, our reality is that we got the perfect embodiment of love that is the creator of the universe. And it's like, I don't know if it's not technically the right words to say, like look at how lucky we are, but it is still, like, you know, like it could have not been that way. I guess it couldn't have, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to imagine the scenario where it's not that way is mind blowing, and to know that He's not that way is just incredible. Man, so I've been reading a book that takes place in first century Rome, like with like all the Christians are being super persecuted and stuff, and one of the main characters goes through it, and she gets sold into slavery and all that, and all the way to at least where I am, she's still like, her whole thing is like, you know, to love and obey your masters, and to and she's very her primary care is to evangelize, if it was possible, to her master, which is just like this girl that's just like a spoiled Roman girl, whatever. But it's just crazy. It's been like I was saying when we first read this before this stream, that just the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end, and they are new every morning. And great is His faithfulness. Is like very much could be the theme of that book, because I've been super inspired by it. It's called A Voice in the Wind. It's the idea that I mean, it's fiction, whatever, but it's not. And like, there really were like first century Christians, bro. We're not messing around. To take all of the horrible things that happened to you, and still to be grateful and recognize that there's still mercy upon you. To recognize like, hey, well, I didn't die. I'm still here. I could still serve a purpose. Is an amazing outlook to have. It's, I guess all I'm really trying to say. It's just a great attitude to come at life with. That is a biblical attitude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah,
Biblical posture.
Very cool. Anything to add to any of that, guys?
yeah.
Huh?
What a
That's
day!
it.
What a night!
Yeah.
What a night!
We're all still feeling
Despite our current demeanor, we know that in reality, through God, there is always hope for tomorrow.
Amen.
And
Amen.
at the end of the day, maybe not for Barry, but even within our game, there is always hope next week. We love you guys. God bless you. See you next time.
Later, guys.